Week 1 of the NFL season is in the books, and we're ready to put Jimmy G and Trevor Siemian in the Hall of Fame.
Brady, Manning, who needs them? This is AU Nation. Let's get it.
Hello, welcome to AU Nation. Each week we bring together members of the Auburn Student Media Group and discuss the latest topics in sports. I'm Noah Gardner.
And I'm Carter Gustin. Thanks to our producer, JJ Jackson, and our co-host, Evan Blank, who sadly couldn't join us today because he's skydiving with President Googe. On today's show, we'll discuss Auburn's win over Arkansas State, give our NFL playoff predictions, fill in some blanks, and finally, everyone has an opinion on all the athletes' demonstrations during the National Anthem, and we'll dive into that later in our burning question.
Now let's introduce today's panel of experts. Our first guest today is Ryan Lavoie. He hosts a basketball show every Monday at 4 on Weagle 91.1 FM. Ryan, how are you?
Doing well. The NFL is back. It's a great time of year. Excited to talk sports.
That's great, Ryan. Glad to have you here today. Our other guest today is Ben Bracken. He is a sports analyst for Eagle Eye TV. Welcome to the show, Ben. Thanks for being a part of the show today.
I'm really excited today. Beautiful day on the plains, and I'm ready to talk some sports. Let's do it.
Awesome. Let's get into our first topic. This past weekend, Auburn beat Arkansas State 51-14. Tigers looked like the Gus Malzahn offense people are used to seeing, totaling 706 yards of offense in their rout of the Red Wolves. Quarterback play was a storyline in their Week 1 loss to Clemson, but Saturday night it was Sean White who took the spotlight. White threw it for 244 yards and a career-high 3 touchdowns. Guys, what do you think the key to Auburn's success was, and what did you really like seeing in this second week?
I think the key was staying in groove, honestly. With having one quarterback finally for this game, it was good to see Sean White finally get some throw-in plays as well. Had Tony Stevens on some big plays. Kyle Davis had an amazing catch. But also the run game was perfect, too. Kerryon Johnson and Cameron Petway both rushed for over 100 yards. So the groove of the offense was well and the flow went well, and it looked like a Gus Malzahn offense.
Very much, very much.
I love that you said groove. That's really the key word there. It almost seemed like last year and then even last weekend against Clemson or the weekend before, he had lost his play calling rhythm. And that's a big thing for a spread offense is you've got to have that rhythm when you call plays. It almost looked like Gus had lost his mojo. And then after the Daniel Carlson fake field goal touchdown, you got the first boom of the season on the video board, and that got the crowd into it. And at that moment, I thought to myself, Gus Malzahn's got his mojo back. That's a big deal for Auburn going forward because Auburn, there's no doubt, they've got playmakers all across the board on offense. Big play ability. He brought it back. That's a big thing. Just put those guys in position to make those plays. That wasn't a thing last year. This year, it looks like it could be a thing. The offense really could get going.
Yeah, it did. The big thing for me was the fact that we had one quarterback, a solid quarterback, and we had some plays downfield. Week 1 against Clemson, we had one play downfield, maybe 2? That's it. We had nothing. No big plays. Nothing exciting happened. The only issue I had with Daniel Carlson is why are we running that now? Now they have film on it. We got Texas A&M coming to town. Now they know we can do that. I don't like that. It's the one thing I didn't like, but Gus Malzahn looked like he knew what he was doing, which is something new to see.
For me, it was Sean White throwing the football. The quarterback situation has been a mess. Week 1, you saw 5 different players take direct snaps. And so for me, it was Sean White's passing ability because you know you're going to be able to run the ball on a weaker team like Arkansas State and control the line of scrimmage. But for Sean White to be so accurate, because a lot of open receivers, yes, but a lot of good ball placements on those deep passes. And so for me, Sean White getting in a rhythm because Auburn will not be able to, since Sean White is not a true dual threat quarterback. He can run, but that's not his normal, what he likes to do. For him, it's going to be key for him to throw the football because otherwise Auburn's going to have a lot of problems picking up third downs. And so Sean getting in a rhythm passing was the biggest key for me.
Yeah, those receivers are definitely going to have to step up. Mm-hmm. Looking ahead, this upcoming Saturday, Auburn hosts the Aggies of Texas A&M. Let's give a score prediction for the game and what are some of the keys for both sides of the Auburn Tigers team to really win this game.
I think my score prediction would have to be 24-14 in the favor of the Tigers. I feel that the offense will continue to keep going and keep making big plays, and the defense is definitely looking great as well with Kevin Steele. And I think the Auburn Tigers will win this game and go into LSU weekend with a lot of momentum.
I expect a little bit more offense, but I'm still going to take the Tigers. I'm going to go 31-24. Something that I want to highlight as a major key for this game for both squads is this: protect the football. Whoever can protect the football in this game is going to win. Both teams come in with a -2 turnover margin coming in this year, and both squads have played one good team and then one not so good team. And so pretty much on the level footing there. And also, I mean, you got two good quarterbacks going out there. Who's going to protect it and allow their team to set up the run? And I think Auburn, in turn, will be able to do that because it's a home environment. You give our defensive line a chance to attack Trevor Knight, some major issues could come forth for that Texas A&M offense.
All right, I'm going to pull Lee Corso and get your pen. Not so fast, closer than experts think. 35-31 Auburn. I'll give you your pen back. I think that the offenses are going to be the story here, as what you're used to seeing with Texas A&M Auburn when they come to town. These big offenses, high-flying offenses. Whichever defense gets the bigger play, gets the first turnover. Whoever stops whoever first, I think is going to win. And I'm hoping it's going to be Kevin Steele in that Auburn offense.
Well, I'm going to go against the crowd, actually. I'm going to pick Texas A&M to win on the road, 27-23. The thing with Texas A&M was, coming into the season, were they physical enough to be an SEC caliber defense? And I've seen that so far, especially with the front seven and Myles Garrett leading the charge there. My problem with Auburn is I'm not sold on Shaun White being able to throw in tight spaces down at the goal line, because many of his completed passes last Saturday were down the field deep balls, which is a good thing, but you still got to be able to score in the red zone. So I'm thinking Auburn's going to stall in the red zone 3 times, kick 3 field goals, and that's going to be the difference in them not winning. Is, down in the red zone, that Auburn's going to run, so Texas A&M is going to be able to handle that, I think. So that's going to cause Shaun White to have to make a couple plays, and I'm not sold on his ability to do that yet.
I think it's going to be a really good game, though. I'm hoping it's going to be a good game. Straight ahead, we predict the conference championship games in Super Bowl 51. This is AU Nation on Eagle Eye TV. Week 1 of the NFL regular season has come and gone. Looking at the regular season as a whole, let's be bold, get some predictions out there, see which teams are going to compete in the AFC and NFC championship games. Who's going to win the Super Bowl, Ryan?
Well, I'm sorry, Carter, I'm not going to be too bold here. NFC, I've got Carolina returning to the NFC championship game to face the Green Bay Packers. I've got Cam and the Panthers returning to the Super Bowl. I think that linebacking core is going to be able to make just enough plays to keep Aaron Rodgers in the offense down enough. For the AFC, I've got Tom Brady leading the Patriots against Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. A great quarterback matchup, great offensive matchup, but I'm a little bit more trustworthy in the Patriots defense, and so once again, just enough defense being the key between two really good offense. So I've got the Patriots and the Panthers in the Super Bowl, a rematch of the John Fox days for Carolina and New England back in the mid-2000s. I'm going with the Patriots again. I think Tom Brady's on a mission. For them to beat the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona without Tom Brady, without Rob Gronkowski, is a real encouraging sign for the Patriots. And I think the Panthers will feel a lot of pressure returning to that game, trying to get that monkey off their back, and so I've got the Patriots.
Well, I have the same 4 teams. I'm going exact opposite with you. I have the Packers and the Steelers winning both their conference games based off, for both teams, defense. Steelers, you're used to a good defense there, and I still think you're going to have a good defense there. Packers are quiet. I don't think they're getting as much respect this year as people think they should have. I like their defense there as well. Aaron Rodgers, calm, cool, collected, get them to a Super Bowl. In a repeat of just a few years ago, Packers, Steelers, and I like Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers to take this one, the Super Bowl 51. I really, really like the Cheeseheads.
Well, me going third here doesn't make me as original because I've got the same 4 teams as well. In the AFC, I'm going to take the Patriots, taking down the Steelers, mainly because, as you pointed out, Ryan, the Patriots looked good on Sunday night. even without Tom Brady. Imagine when he comes back alongside Gronk, the team is going to be a force to stop. But then you also, it's a dumpster fire in the AFC. It really is. Excuse me. And the Steelers are second best in that. And they've got a great team and a team with Antonio Brown, Ben Roethlisberger. And when Le'Veon Bell comes back, they're clearly second best. And a great team at that, but I'm going to take the Patriots hands down. Then over in the NFC, I'm going to take the Packers over the Panthers, mainly because I think the Packers are the more complete team in this case. And also when you watched Carolina take on Denver last week, I still see some of the same things that haunted them last year, especially in the Super Bowl, and then also in their one loss of the season, haunted them throughout last year, that has came into this year. And I think the Packers can really exploit that. So in the Super Bowl, I got discount double check versus Deflategate, and I'm going to have to take Deflategate, but with inflated footballs this time. And
Are you sure?
Goodell, yeah.
Okay.
But Goodell's going to have to hand the trophy to Brady this time, and it's going to be an interesting moment for that because I think the Patriots by far the better team in that situation.
Well, Noah, I think that I have the exact same picks as you. I feel that the Packers will definitely beat the Panthers. The Panthers are still looming over that Super Bowl loss, and after this loss to Denver, still see a lot of problems and the things that they're still overlooking from the Super Bowl and their one loss, like you said. And I just feel that the Packers are a more complete team. Aaron Rodgers is definitely going to lead that offense into a very successful season. And then I think Tom Brady is definitely going to do a lot of good work on the field this season with inflated balls, hopefully. And he'll learn his lesson. But I feel that the Patriots Belichick has that team, and they just dominate every single season that that happens. Yep. And I just feel that Super Bowl 51, I have the Patriots defeating the Packers. And it's hopefully I don't like the Patriots as much, but I feel that the Patriots are the most dominant team in the NFL.
Well, I mean, it's clear because they've been to 5 straight AFC championship games, and they've been to their fair share of Super Bowls in that time period as well. There's nothing different about this team that makes you suggest that they're going to be worse this year. I mean, they're going to be a lot better this year. I mean, when you add players like Hogan and Bennett to that offense, I mean, by far the Patriots do look like they're the most stacked team in the NFL, and they're playing without Tom Brady at the moment. They still look like one of the best.
Did we all pick the same 4 teams?
I think
Yes.
so.
Yes. So that means none of them are going to be correct.
Maybe my Chargers will make it this year.
probably.
Chargers? Yeah?
No.
No. That's all right. Up next, we discuss a crazy ending in college football this past weekend, the newest NBA Hall of Fame class, and Landon Donovan's return to soccer. This is AU Nation on Eagle Eye TV, Channel 6.
I hope that you've been able to learn a strong work ethic surrounded by character, integrity, perseverance, so that when your 1 second comes, you'll be prepared for it.
Chris Davis.
45, there goes Davis!
Your 1 second, our 1 second is now. And our lives have been guided by the principles of one of the greatest academic institutions in the country, Auburn University.
Our popular game from last season, fill in the blank, named after beloved and missing Evan Blank
Sadly,
because
he's gone.
because he's skydiving with President Goose. It's back with a brand new edition. For those of you who have never watched, I'm going to read a sentence that is missing a word, and our job is to fill in that blank. First up, the ending to the Oklahoma State Central Michigan game was blank.
Exhilarating. I mean, I was sitting there just watching, I think it was one of the 11 o'clock games on ESPN, and I see a highlight of it, and I go crazy. I jump up and I just start yelling and stuff. Who goes crazy over a Chippewas versus Cowboys game? I don't know anybody that does, but I mean, just seeing that play happen is amazing, and being there live would have been even incredible. I just want to know if it was like drawn up, or if that's how it was supposed to go, or if it was just off the spot. But it was a huge upset and a crazy play to see.
I'm going to go with predictable. It almost seems like it's commonplace now in college football and in the NFL for the officiating crews to get something wrong in a big moment like this where it decides seasons. And for Oklahoma State, it's tragic because the play shouldn't have even occurred. And now a team that could have been undefeated, still ranked, season is ruined.
Inspirational.
Tell that to Cowboys fans.
Inspirational. Look, it happened. The play shouldn't have happened, maybe not, but it did happen. That was incredible. I mean, if they planned it or not, I don't know. But to watch that, it's like playing football in your backyard. You remember going back, it was incredible. I loved it, great. That's why I watch college football. That's why we love the kick six. That's why we love Doug Flutie's Hail Mary. It was incredible, unbelievable. I loved it. Inspirational.
I'll say destructive, just because you had 2 game suspensions for the officiating crews. And it really could end up destroying Oklahoma State's season because now they have a bad loss on their resume, a home loss to Central Michigan. And yes, it was a fun play. It was inspirational for teams like Central Michigan, but at the end of the day, that play should have never happened. And so it's going to really end up, it destroys the reputation of those officiating crews and could destroy Oklahoma State's season.
In one day, a season's destroyed, and 2 officiating crews are suspended for 2 games.
What do you know?
Let's move on to the Diamond. Next, the MLB is in the heart of the final month of the regular season. With that being said, the NL MVP should be blank this season, and the AL MVP should be blank.
Double blanks.
Wow. Well, for the NL, definitely unanimous to me. Chris Bryant, definitely just a powerhouse hitting and on the field. Just the Cubs in general have been a great team and had a remarkable season. Have them in the World Series, but I feel Chris Bryant is definitely the unanimous winner. And for the AL, this was a toss-up. I couldn't really think, but I'm going to have to go with Jose Altuve for the Houston Astros. I feel that he may not be the biggest power hitter, but he definitely is strong, getting on base and getting the hits that count. And just his play in general as a whole is very good.
Yeah, for the NL, I'm going to go Daniel Murphy. I mean, Murphy's Law is in action. He's doing a great job. I believe he's leading the NL in batting average with a .344 batting average. And then I'm going to go on the AL side with Mike Trout. I mean, it's Mike Trout, best player in baseball, phenomenal. He's having a great year. The Angels may not be in it, but he definitely is in the MVP race.
All right, I'm going to go Chris Bryant as well. You're exactly right. Best player on the best team should be there. Easy. Also going to agree with you there. I don't know. Do we have copying going on? Last week you copied me, this week you copied me. I have Jose Altuve as well. Big number for me, 27 steals.
Yes.
Doing whatever it takes to get on base, whatever it takes for that team to win, trying to get in the playoff hunt. Very happy with what he's doing this year.
No, like you, I'm going Daniel Murphy from the National League. He's hitting in the 340s. He's having the most powerful season he's ever had. Washington has had a bounce-back season, already almost locked up the NL East. And Bryce Harper struggled this year, so they needed that production in the middle lineup. Chris Bryant's a good pick, but I think there's so much talent with Chicago, so that's why I've got Daniel Murphy. For the American League, this is outside the box. I've got David Ortiz, and I hate saying that. I don't like the Red Sox. I don't want them to ever make the playoffs. But David Ortiz, at his retiring season, age, I think 40 or 41, 40. 31 homers, over 100 RBIs, anchoring the middle of the lineup. If nothing else, the Red Sox feed off him. And to play, he's had bad legs, bad feet all year, but he's not skipped a beat. So for me, David Ortiz from the American League.
Wouldn't it be something if Big Poppy could get a home run for every year that he's lived in his life? I think that probably would put him over the top in the AL. Finally, Landon Donovan, speaking of another legend, coming out of retirement and joining the AL Galaxy is blank.
Plain and simple, I'm just going to say exciting on this one. It's good to see a USA soccer legend just come back after being cut from the team by Jurgen Klinsmann. You feel that a lot of his confidence may have been lost because of that, and maybe that could have led to a decision to retire. So it's good to see a legend that grown up watching all my life come back and take the field with his team that he's dominated with every year he's played.
This is just a week of nostalgia for you,
yeah,
isn't it?
It is.
You
Very
got a bunch
exciting.
of legends coming
Yes.
back. I'm going to say it's overdue. I love Landon Donovan. Spectacular player. Once again, grew up watching this guy. One of these guys that had the most potential ever in U.S. soccer history. And now you got somebody like Pulisic coming along. It's been thrown up into question. Now he's almost came back onto the scene. It's fun to see him come back and contribute. He had a good game the other day against Orlando City. He's a talented player, and I think it was overdue because he should have been back last year and never retired anyway.
I don't think Noah's going to like what I say. Obnoxious.
Do I ever like what you say?
No, not usually. Obnoxious. I don't like it. You're retired for a reason. You've been gone for a couple of years. You're done. It's just move on. Accept that you're not the player you used to be anymore. Just leave it how it was.
He's pulling a Brett Favre.
Well, yeah,
I didn't like it when Brett
you
Favre
love
did it.
Brett Favre.
I do love Brett Favre. He's my hero.
Okay.
I didn't like it when he did it either.
Just in time for the LA Galaxy because the Galaxy's struggling a little bit. They're up to second. They have played 2 more games than the third-place team, so they're probably actually third when it comes to points. But LA Galaxy are one of those few teams that always expect to be contending for the title. Jossie Zardes, one of their starting forwards, just got injured. Landon Donovan not going to start, not going to provide all the goal scoring and assist making that he had been in the past, but a nice little spark plug off the bench, 10, 15 minutes a game. He is the all-time leader in MLS in goals and assists. You know he can provide something in short spurts even at his elder age.
LA, LD, reunited.
Oh,
Yep.
goodness.
Hey, it could be a match made in heaven. Coming up, we tackle our burning question. We talk demonstrations during the National Anthem. This is AU Nation, Eagle Eye TV, Channel 6.
This is a place where it only takes a second to imagine your future. Grasp a new concept in class. Inspire a child's curiosity. Discover a real-world solution. Seize an unexpected opportunity.
There goes Davis.
This is where you gain the preparation, confidence, and determination to succeed. This is Auburn.
It's an issue that has been across all sports. Athletes are performing various demonstrations during the National Anthem prior to their games. It all started with San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick, who kneeled during the National Anthem prior to a preseason game against the Green Bay Packers on August 26th. After game, Colin Kaepernick was quoted saying, "I'm not going to stand up and show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. To me, this is bigger than football. It would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the street and people getting paid to leave and getting away with murder."
This has, of course, started a lot of conversation among media members, and it seems like everyone has an opinion about what Kaepernick did and said. A week later, Megan Rapinoe, a member of the United States women's national soccer team, knelt during the national anthem prior to her game for the Seattle Reign of the National Women's Soccer League, and had this to say about the issue. I think it's actually pretty disgusting the way he was treated and the way that a lot of the media has covered it and made it about something that absolutely isn't. We need to have a more thoughtful, two-sided conversation about racial issues in this country. Being a gay American, I know what it means to look at the flag and not have it protect all of your liberties. It's important to have white people stand in support of people of color on this. We don't need to be the leading voice, of course, but standing in support of them is something that's really powerful. On Sunday, several demonstrations were performed amongst athletes. More NFL players knelt during the anthem. The Seattle Seahawks locked arms during the anthem, and Rapinoe took part in locking arms with her Seattle Reign teammates during the anthem instead of kneeling herself. Guys, give us your opinion on all of this.
For me, I think personally it's disrespectful to kneel during the national anthem. Now, I understand the issue at heart is a serious issue, but I feel like Colin Kaepernick the delivery of it was wrong. And, it's hard to see where he's coming from on this because he makes $19 million a year to sit on the bench right now. I mean, he's the benefactor of the American system. And I understand that there is a problem still with racial issues. There shouldn't be. It's 2016. But I feel like that problem gets overblown by things like this. And once again, I don't have a problem with a protest because you have the constitutional right to do that. But I just feel like it's disrespectful to those who've served, disrespectful to our country when you don't respect our national anthem. And so that's where I stand on it. But once again, I see that there is an issue, but I feel like that issue gets overblown because of instances like this.
I think there's a responsibility to protest when you have an issue. I just have a few issues in the way he's doing it. First off, this is work, and you shouldn't have to do those things at work. You shouldn't do those things at work. I'll never understand. I don't pretend to understand. I never will understand what it's like to be an African American in this nation. I just won't. I will never pretend to say that. But to do it at work kind of has an issue with it, as well as the fact it's a sporting event. And people in this nation use sporting events as a way to escape that kind of thing. And if it's there and it's so prevalent, I mean, Sunday morning, first Sunday of football, week 1 in NFL, the first alert I see on my phone is what players stood and what players didn't. I don't like that. I want it to be football. I want it to be about football.
Whether I agree or disagree with his methods, it's worked. It's been effective. His jersey sales have risen to #1 in the NFL up until this point. And I also respect the fact that he donated all proceeds from his jersey sales that he would have gotten back to the community. But now on to my opinion of how he's doing it. I disagree with kneeling during the national anthem, and here's why. This country is divided on many issues all across the board. But something for a minute and a half that we do when we sing the national anthem is we come together and we celebrate something we love, which is the country. The country's not perfect, but what that anthem stands for is the ability to fight and the right to fight for something that we all want, which is unity. And to kneel during that further divides us. And I think instead of further dividing us, we should come together and kneel for stand for the national anthem and celebrate it in a way so that we are unified.
I feel the way he approached it was just straight up pathetic, honestly. I feel that he's trying to get his name back out there. Like you said, he's getting paid millions of dollars just to sit on the bench. I think he should have approached this in a different way. And like y'all say, it's work. Like, keep it to yourself while you're at work. You're in front of a crowd of thousands of people, not to mention millions possibly watching the game, and you're going at it like this. I've had family that has served in the military, so it really hits me hard as well because they've sacrificed themselves to protect our freedom and liberty. But is there problems in this country? Absolutely. Should there be change? Absolutely. There's not a doubt in my mind that there needs to be change. Just the way he went for it and how all these players are going and reacting to this is definitely immature to me, in my opinion. And I feel that they need to keep their opinions to themselves because you're basically protesting the one thing that allows you to protest. And I just feel that it's very contradictory of how this country is ran. But yes, there is change that is needed in this world, but keep it to yourself.
And whether Colin Kaepernick was well-intentioned or not, I mean, I would like to think he is, but just the example of at practice the next week, he's wearing socks with pig policemen as pigs. That's not representative of all policemen. He obviously talking about the police brutality there, but it's the voices of a few drown out the silent majority. Most cops are good cops. Most cops do their job. They treat people fairly. It's the few that act in stupidity that get the attention. And I feel like Colin Kaepernick, by doing this, by not seeing the whole picture as far as police are concerned, took the attention away from what he was trying to do and made it about how he did what he did. And so really we're not talking much about the actual issues of race. We're talking about how Colin Kaepernick protested.
Right.
And so he did not get his point across. He really made it about how you're supposed to protest.
Let's also not forget, week one, first Sunday NFL season, happened to fall on 9/11. And I just think that's even another spotlight that you just don't want to see someone kneeling, not standing in the national anthem when people are joining arms, crying, remember those who we've lost. It's just another thing that I didn't like.
Very
I didn't
disrespectful
like that
to the
very
ones
much.
that have lost the loved ones, especially.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Well, thanks for watching us today on Eagle Eye TV. So long from my Channel 6 studio. Peace.